My name is Ram Fishman. I'm a professor of public policy at Tel Aviv University. And right now I'm standing next to a fruit orchard, a typical fruit orchard in northern Israel. And one of the things that really distinguishes agriculture in Israel is the very high efficiency with which it uses irrigation. Israel has always been water scarce. The climate here is very limited in precipitation. And so agriculture here over the last few decades has learned to be more and more efficient in the way it uses very scarce water resources. Virtually every field in this country is irrigated through a drip system or a sprinkler system. Often, the irrigation is automated and based on sensors which read soil moisture. In addition, most of the water used for irrigation actually is now treated wastewater. As water becomes more and more scarce in other parts of the world, it's a natural question to ask, to what extent can Israeli agriculture's achievement in using irrigation so precisely, to what extent can these advantages be transferred or implemented in other parts of the world which are facing greater water scarcity? And this is a very important agenda. Of course, some people argue there is a dispute about to what extent can improvements in water use efficiency actually save water, but it's also quite clear that as water becomes more scarce and more expensive to access, it will be important for farmers around the world to use whatever scarce resources available to them, to use it more efficiently so they can maintain agricultural production. And to that end, improvements in efficiency, which right now are extremely low for the average global farmer, to what extent can these kind of technologies and practices be brought to improve that efficiency? So there is first the problem of cost. A lot of these technologies are expensive, making them unaffordable for most global farmers. There is the general problems of technology transfer. There is also the problem that most of the world farmers grow cereal crops, and many of these practices cannot just be copy-pasted into these kind of cropping systems. At the same time, there are many technological advances being made in recent years that might enable additional farmers around the world to make use of remote sensing and other advances in information and communication technology to use their water more efficiently. But again, making those actually usable and relevant to the real world farming situation remains a very difficult challenge from both a technical point of view and an economic and behavioral point of view. So a lot of work needs to be done there. And even here in Israel, not all of our water problems have been really solved. First of all, Israel grows very little cereal, so most of our calories are actually produced outside of the country and imported. That means Israel is not food self-sufficient, and in a more volatile world, this can become a strategic problem. Second of all, even though we use water very efficiently, that carries very high prices for farmers and makes agricultural production here less and less competitive with farming in other countries, to a large extent because of the high cost of water. And finally, even though Israel has managed to retain a very productive agricultural system with very little water availability, ecological users of our water are not as successful. We are facing a water crisis in many of our ecosystems. The Dead Sea is shrinking. Many streams are dry most of the year or polluted. So that still requires a lot of work to really bring the Israeli water system to be really sustainable in the broader sense of the word.